Welcome back, everybody, to the Unconquered Podcast film review. This of the Miami-Florida State game. This being the 6th review we've done this year. Hopefully, we've been getting a lot out of these. This one I'm going to do actually a little differently. I've been doing these live with the Patreon subscribers who are higher level joining or able to join live this week, with it being a bye week and some other stuff that's happened up here due to hurricane and other factors. I'm going to go ahead and just record this one and put it out. Probably not going to go quite as long as I have before as well. But we're going to cover the relevant plays that need to be covered in this game. So other than that, if you have any additional plays that you want me to break down, I can go ahead and, especially those of you who are higher level Patreon subscribers, get in touch with me. Let me know that there is one or two that you didn't want me to cover, and I will go ahead and take care of those. And I'll go ahead and re-record something else specifically for by request on that. So let's go ahead and get to it and get a nice opener there for the kick coverage. Not too bad. It's basically what you want. Now, this is basically straightforward, and there's not going to be a whole lot to break down defensively in terms of what Florida State did defensively, because they played very much their base stuff in this game. They went more to base stuff than what they'd used the last couple of weeks. You could tell that after some of the free runners that Miami got in the secondary, they did not want to see that happen, or that Louisville had gotten in the secondary. They did not want to see that happen against Miami, and so they very much went back to a lot of base stuff and just tried to whip Miami one-on-one, which I think they felt like they could win up front against Miami with the defensive line, which they did, in order to limit Miami's offense. And they were going to try a little bit more. Normally, this has been an extremely aggressive and, if anything, over-aggressive defense so far this year. In this game, it was pretty clear that they didn't believe that Miami could march down the field against their base all that reliably, and they tried to prevent big plays in this one more than they have otherwise. So here we see a quarters look. Against the run. And you'll note this safety, because there's not a second receiver on his side. He's going to come down and play run support as soon as the back gets it, but it doesn't matter, because if you look at what's going on up front, look at Fred Jones compress that front side offensive guard. That's just outstanding play from Fred Jones there. I'm going to go ahead and blow up my cursor here. Sorry about that. Make it so that my cursor size is a little larger so that this can show up. But look at Fred Jones playing low here on that. This is weak side lead, and Fred Jones just not only gets a stalemate but keeps that guard pushed back in the backfield there. There's not a whole lot of space for Homer to get. And if you look at what happens here on the end, I think that's Aime. Aime also does a good job compressing the tackle, keeping his outside arm clear so that there's nothing to bounce, and then comes off of it, gets a hold of the back, that being Homer, and there's just nothing there. He doesn't even get back to the linebackers. And if he had, Brooks gets beat here by the lead blocker. Brooks gets, bam. That's the wrong shoulder. Brooks should be coming through this and meeting with the other shoulder. If the defensive line doesn't win here, the back is up into the 4 or 5 yard range and one-on-one with the safety before he gets anywhere. So Brooks has to do a better job of assessing what's going on here and hitting this lead blocker with the correct shoulder. He cannot let himself get pinned inside like that. Same basic look, same basic package. And again, this is where the Michigan State style quarters is different from basically everybody else. Normally when you teach a quarterback to read what coverages you're looking at, You teach him that quarters, you're going to see basically a straight line across with your DBs. The way that Florida State, the way that Michigan State play quarters, you're going to see those corners up in press, and the safeties are going to be back. It's going to look like a cover 2 a lot of times, but the safeties are usually not quite as wide as they would be in cover 2, and they're going to have some run responsibility downhill as well, which is the primary difference. Lamonte Taylor needs to get his mouth guard in his mouth here. But again, this is where Florida State is winning up front for the most part here. Now they brought look how quickly the backers are triggering here. Not bad. Now one thing you'd like to see is a little bit better positioning from Jackson here. From Dontavius. You can't get down on your knee there to make that tackle. He does a good job of picking through and finding the action. And the main thing that kills this, watch DeMarcus Christmas on the front side guard here. He pushes that front side guard so far back, gets his leverage, pushes him so far back that he forces the lead blocker to redirect. That is beautiful. But Dontavius needs to be able to pop that. Really, you want him still up on his feet. You can't go down to your knee and try to take that. If he's able to hit this again with the correct shoulder, that's a 1 yard gain instead of a longer gain. This gets it down to a manageable third down. So from here, you get the freshman throwing, and this probably should have been a first down. This was a situation where they could have had a decent play out of this. And this is what you're going to see more and more teams do against Florida State, is more 3-by-1 to create matchups, particularly for the number 2. Line up the number 1 real wide to take out the corner, and then try to get a matchup that you like against the number 2, who has to honor that deep threat. You get that matchup, and here they run that inside route here, underneath up against the outside backer, and then they run the slant inside the corner. If this is a good throw by the quarterback, Jeff Thomas is coming out of this break. That ball should be coming out now, which it is. That ball should be thrown right about here. Jeff Thomas can catch that on the sprint, and he is off to the races. Safety doesn't have a real good angle on him coming downhill. This is basically a man-free situation. But that's not real good. If that's a good throw, that he's probably still running right now. That's what teams are going to continue to do, is to try to get this matchup. They'll try to formation it to get A.J. Westbrook in there in that coverage rather than Samuels. But this is why that field safety is so important. He's got to be able to win this matchup, and Samuels does not win this matchup here. I think he's expecting, it looks like he's expecting help from the inside, and there just isn't any. And again, that's because you've got the 3-by-1. So they're going to have to find a way for that to be reliable. You get your punt here. DJ doing a good job as a punt returner, getting his first down. That's what you ask. See if you can get me 8-10 yards. Now, first play here, and I love the way that they came out to open this game. Miami is triggering to stop the run right away. They're not just firing off the ball. Man, that ball just does not look good coming out of his hand there. Does that get batted a little bit? I think that gets tipped a little bit. He's really telegraphing where he's throwing anyway. But anyway, what you're getting here, they're just trying to keep that defense looser against the run. I love coming out throwing on first down. That's not who you want to be if you're Willie Taggart long term, but you do need to do it right now. They're able to get, they're only able to get a yard, but it still shows that you're willing to throw on first down. Now, I don't like that, you're running this to a yard, but man, that's a long way for that safety to come down to catch that. They did a good job of reading that. All right, now second down. And this is the correct read here. So what you're doing with this stack, and the reason you stack, particularly on the short side, is you're forcing the defense to declare what they're going to do. And what Miami decides is they're going to put that extra backer. This is the guy that would ordinarily be out here. They're going to play with a deep safety, and they're going to take whichever guy would normally apex this, play it between the number 2 receiver and the box. Instead of putting him out here, they're putting him in the box. This is an automatic screen. And actually, I'd like to see Francois get this out quicker. But this becomes basically just an ISO play for it's a running play with he's your fullback. There's only one guy out here. So now you need to get your 8-10 yards. And really, Murray doesn't hit this as well as I'd like. Catch, get upfield. Don't hesitate there. Get upfield quicker. You cannot let that end get out there so quickly and get to you. But he does a good job of not getting tackled there. Gets the first down. So makes up for it with his effort afterwards. So now what do you get? You're getting quads to the field. Single coverage down there, but the safety stays on the hash, so that's taken away. Now what you're doing is you're looking at, are they matching numbers out here? What are you getting in the box? You got a 5-man box inside the tackles. So now it's 5 plus the quarterback. This should be a run read for Deondre Francois, and it is. And this is just dart. So all you're doing is you're blocking out with the guard. Tackle is pulling to become a lead blocker. So this is just basically an ISO situation. You're getting something a lot like tailback ISO, where you're getting a fullback leading the tailback out of I formation, but you're getting it out of an empty package with the quarterback as the tailback. And this is good. This is good blocking on the front side here. Not bad, basically, and it just so happens that Miami twists right out of that, and that's pretty lucky actually, because Miami's got a TNT twist here, or an NT twist, I guess. So the nose is twisting across the face of the center. The 1 technique is twisting across, and the 3 technique is twisting the opposite direction. That allows this front side guard to double up on the nose. That creates a lot of space. And then you get the backside tackle, Brady Scott on the backer. That's all good. I think Francois, though, probably should have hit this. And if he's a more comfortable runner, he's hitting this off the inside of the butt of this block here, rather than trying to take that outside. And really, the guy that makes this play, really good play by the defensive end here, 97, to keep this to be in a 3 or 4 yard gain. That's a 4-yard gain. If he doesn't come off of that, this is basically the same play that Aime made for Florida State on the first down for Miami. If he doesn't make that play, Francois runs for quite a while here. Good play up front for Miami to keep that to 4 yards, but still a successful play for Florida State on first down. So now you're getting the same concept. You get your stack out here, your stack here, and now they've got 2 on 2 each side, which gives you 4, 5, 6 against 5, 6, 7. You're up 1 in the box. This is a run read, easily. Only they play. Oh, and this is also where I like what Florida State did here. This is a run read normally, but what do? They play action this. This is not a read for the quarterback. Yeah, I forgot about that for this play. But this is clearly a play action. They're trying to get to hit one here, but unfortunately Florida State's tackles are garbage, and it doesn't really matter. So Miami's able to get pressure. And Miami Green Dogs this too. Take note of this this backer. He's playing run, and as soon as he reads play action pass, he's coming downhill on a delayed blitz. That's called a green dog. He's free to go, depending on what the play is. He green dogs. He ends up being in on the sack, but looks good in here. And this is partly on Francois though. This is when Willie Taggart's talking about Francois needing to step up. This is an example of that. He gets to the bottom of his drop, feel it, and step right here. Yes, it's compressed a little bit, but a good quarterback steps up here and tries to slide this way. Now, in this case, because of the green dog, he probably goes down anyway. But you can't let both of those guys, and it's no coincidence. I mean, I do say Florida State's tackles aren't very good, and they aren't, but they're actually running those guys around the spot they're supposed to. Let's look at how many yards back this is. So the ball's on the 44 here. So then he gets touched. That's the 50? That's the 48. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The tackles are told to run their guys out to the 8-yard mark around the quarterback. 8, 9, get them to 8, 9 yards. Well, they're at 8 yards, but Francois standing on that spot. Slide forward. Don't let yourself get taken there. So not great by the tackles. You want him back maybe a half a yard to a yard further. But Francois's got to step up further to put himself in a position to do something. And if he's able to step forward right now, the green dog may not get there before he's able to slide that ball out to the underneath, to the check down here. That's what makes a big difference for quarterback play. You make your offensive line look even worse than they are. And that's been happening a lot this year. We've broken that down a lot on our film reviews all year. So now 3rd and 14. Looks like a lost play, and then you have a brilliant call here. You can see that they had this one prepped for Miami. They knew what look they'd get. So you get the trips to the field with an attached tight end. Miami responds with 5 in the box, which gives you enough to be able to protect if you want. So they protect and then they release the screen. And this is good work from Francois, getting it out just in time. And notice McKitty waits just long enough and then gets upfield. Now, you do want him actually getting across a little bit more, and this becomes a problem in the second half when they showed this same look. This backer came up and undercut it. McKitty needs to be getting across a little bit, but at this point, that's a really, really good play, and this changed the momentum of the game at that point after the sack. Able to get a first down, put yourself in position to score on that first drive. It's a great call. Great design. Look at it one more time. Slide that out. And all these guys, one of the things I like here is that the number 3 is running basically a wheel route to the outside, which is turning the coverage player's head this way. So now you don't have anything. He's got an outside release. They know they're in man. And now you've got the blockers downfield. Good job by Mike Arnold getting a hand on somebody. McKitty's got to actually hit that a little better. Ideally, McKitty should have cut off his block here, recognize where his leverage is, cut this back inside a little bit if you could. Great pursuit by Miami makes that a tackle there. Now you get, again, trips to the field. I think this is the wrong read. So they do this quickly. This is the wrong read. You've got 3 guys to the field, and you see Murray, who's signaling. This should go to Murray, because look at the numbers. He's way in here. You got 2 really over the 3, and he's the 3rd guy. And you got 4, 5, 6 against your 6 blockers, 7, but then you really kind of have to count him. He's the guy that you're reading. This is muddy, but to me, given the way that Florida State blocks up front, I want this going outside to Murray, because you got 2 receivers out here, 2 big receivers as lead blockers for Murray. That said, Patrick with a solid run here. And this is where right now Patrick is just more comfortable than Akers, who just looks completely miserable right now. I mean, Akers is not having fun right now. He is very unhappy, and you can just see that with how he's playing. But anyway, I'd like this to go downhill. But look at the difference here. He's able to hit this and hit it going forward, no wasted motion, and then gets 4 or 5 yards. It's a pretty good run. Again, not quite the read that I'd like. And again, same thing here. My thought here, throw that to the bottom of the screen. I like it better there, but again, they may have this as a muddy read because the 3rd guy's out here. They may have him wanting to hand this off. To me, I like getting it to the screen here on that particular look. And this is a good run by Patrick, because what you're getting here from the tight end, the defensive end is able to win inside, and the tight end then has to fold that down. And this is designed to do that. Basically, everything's going off of that tight end's block. If he's able to win and get that helmet inside, the back hits it behind the tackle. But the way that Taggart does this is if the end wins to the inside, you press that down, and the back skips steps and hits that going forward. Nice job by Patrick getting hit at the 1 yard mark and gets 3 yards after contact. It's another 3 yards after contact. That's a quality run right there. Bit of a stretch in terms of not the best spot. They moved that back a little too far, about a half a yard further than it should have. So now they get the advantage of the offside there. We're not going to focus on that. 2nd and 1. Get the same thing here. Now again, you don't have the tight end here. So now you've got twins to the bottom. One's off the screen. It would be nice if they would show everybody, on camera. No, he's not. Where is he? Okay, I just miscounted. Okay, never mind. I'm tired, guys. All right, so now you've got trips to the boundary, and they're in man coverage out here. I think that's an acceptable read. I think that's a give all the way anyway. If you look at Nooney Murray, he's not looking for it early either. I think that's a give all the way. Francois does a good job of getting rid of that, because he's actually playing his man. This guy's playing the quarterback, so that's a give read all the way. Patrick doesn't quite. You want him to be able to jump cut that. This is where somebody like LeBourne is ideal, to be able to jump cut that without hitting there. But either way, Patrick does a good job of then getting vertical. What he's doing a really good job of is find the seam and get vertical, get north-south, gets another 3 yards, 4 yards after contact, first down. So now you're getting the same kind of look. Motion to the same thing. These are tighter splits, you notice. But that's basically the same thing that they ran. Now they just flip it. Only now, play action on first down. So this is one of the things I really liked about how they came out. First down, throwing it, and trying to get some plays downfield on play action. And look at what's going on here from Miami's linebackers. They're stepping up, but they're playing run. Miami's ends, they're playing to the outside, but they're not playing like they do on third down or on long yardage. And good work by the Florida State interior against Miami's tackles here. There's enough space for Francois. Hit and go and get that out. And this is a nice play by both in terms of design and in terms of a nice route here by Gavin. What they've done here is this is a little switch, a little wheel route here, a seam route by the inside, and the design is to get that seam route to take away the safety. Safety has to get over top the seam route. And then what you're doing is you're going to expand as the wide receiver to your man-to-man coverage player. Expand to him, make him keep widening, and then cut inside him to the seam and use your big body to win. So nice job by Gavin, expanding to match his leverage, and then press inside right at the time that the ball is coming out. Sync up. And that is a touchdown. Big throw, big catch, and that's a huge play to get ahead on the road, hostile environment. This is you could not have started better for Florida State than this. Nice job by Gavin, and Good catch, good overall throw. Not a great throw, but a good enough throw. Nice physical play by a player who's just a lot bigger than the guy he's across from. All right, let's move on. So now we get to Miami's second drive. We'll look at that here real quick. Again, the same thing. Florida State being very vanilla here. But instead of being in quarters, now they're in a man free. And I want you to take note of how deep that safety is. That's man free all the way. And they're playing this safety 20 yards off over the top. They're not wanting to give anything up deep. And that's allowing them to turn their corners loose, and play real tight on the outside. Miami still wins on the old Mark Richt staple, the run it route to a physical receiver. Sometimes you're just going to lose that. This is just a missed tackle in the backfield. But again, what you notice, look at the disruption there. Christmas has a double team on him, and he just wins. Just pushes the center right back. Nice job by Jackson winning against the guard. But Jackson, again, doesn't quite make the tackle. The guard is able to kind of recover and create a little bit of a seam. And Aime here really doesn't do his job. He's got to match that in. Now, don't overrun it. Make contact with that inside shoulder. Can't miss that tackle as a defensive end. Dallas gets the first down. All right. And here we see, again, Florida State's front wrecking shop. This is first down. You don't expect them to just be killing it off the line, but look at Burns. Wins with his hands. It's over for Burns now. He wins coming off the edge. He's able to bend that. Look at Christmas, gets a one-on-one, and he wins right here. Expands him a little bit, presses inside, and then watch 21 here. Watch Marvin Wilson. Marvin Wilson basically doesn't get blocked, runs right around the guard who's supposed to block him. Guard's got to slide and take that, but because the design of this is such that the guard should slide and take Wilson, and then that's going to leave the backers space. One of those backers would have likely come free. The back has to come up and hit him. But either way, that's a bust by Miami's offensive line. Wilson gets the sack. But any of three guys had a chance to get that one. Look at this. Christmas, Burns, and Wilson all basically have a shot at the quarterback there. So now you're 2nd and 17. Rick does the right thing and throws and runs it here. Running a little outside zone, and Dallas is able to get the seam. This is poor by Florida State's front. One thing I'm not sure why FSU flipped their ends here. The field end usually is Burns. Not sure why they flipped it here, but Aime gets pinned inside. I think the front got called backwards here personally, but again, I'm not sure. Either way, looking at this, to me, what's going on here, Brooks is out of position. He steps up to this spot instead of flowing. Gets himself blocked. Jackson is out of position here. He's got to recognize that this is everybody's step in zone. So now he has to get out a little bit, and then he gets pinned. Receiver is able to pin 20. Safety is sprinting out to the cover two roll. Corner gets blocked. Corner is the run force there. Just not good defense there, and that should have been a horse collar. They shouldn't have picked up They shouldn't have picked up that flag. Florida State was fortunate there. That should have been a horse collar. That should definitely have been called. That should not have been picked up. Anyway. Near midfield. Rotating defensive linemen in and out here at the tackles. Defensive tackle, new defensive tackles out there. And this is a good play here. But note that anytime a Florida State linebacker is making a tackle not named Dontavius Jackson, he's going backwards. Boop. Same basic play, by the way, you notice in terms of the design here to push the defensive line down. This is based off of the quarterback action that's going to control the end. Step down, skip out. Same play that Patrick had. Patrick got 3 on it. Dallas gets 2. And then you set that up for quarterback run game or for play action. Same basic, zone read, invert read type play. Little twist game. Nothing there. So now 3rd down. Now they go delta package. Everybody up on the line of scrimmage. And you notice they rush 4. This is difficult to see who's going to rush, right? They're going to drop Janarius or they're going to drop Kando here, and then they're going to rush 4 from this side. Fortunate he didn't catch that. Overloading from one side. They've got everybody on the line in case they run it, and then they drop quickly into pass zones. And in the back end, you can see this is a cover 3. So trying to go big on small, not bad. Second drive here, and this is just getting beat up front. And this is dart. This is the same concept. No, this is power. I'm sorry. This is power. You're getting the double team against the 1 technique, pulling the guard. Or double team against the 3 technique, I'm sorry. Double team against the 3 technique. You're going to pull that guard around to lead through against the backer. Miami's backers. Here's the biggest difference between Miami's defense right now and Florida State's. Miami's linebackers are legit good. Look at this backer on the front side. When do you see Florida State's backers getting in there, making a play in the backfield that quickly? He triggers downhill, does a great job. He basically all he sees this double team right here, and he knows he's got to fill right there, right now. He's going to expect this to hit, so he's going to beat him there and try to make the play in the backfield. And Patrick really has no shot here because of the play of the Mike linebacker here. That's outstanding. And then you've got a defensive end one-on-one with the tight end who whips him. Tight end barely gets a block, barely gets a hand on him, and you just got no shot as the running back here. That's outstanding defensive play. 56. That's outstanding play from Miami's linebacker there. Who is that? I'm trying to remember who 56 is. That is. Don't remember his name. Is that Quarterman? Anyhow, notice how quickly, though, those backers trigger for Miami. And Florida State's just generally don't do that. Once in a while, you'll see Dontavius Jackson do it, but the rest's not even close. So now this is dart. So again, you're looking for the numbers. You got a 4 out here against 1, 2, 3. So that's an easy read. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5. You can count him as kind of a 6th. He's on the edge. I'm taking this every time. So throw it out. That's the right read. And again, this is just basically a lead play. And actually, this is kind of power on the front end because what you're doing is you're doubling him and working your way to the second level players. And they actually triple him back gets upfield. That's a 5-yard run, 6-yard run on second and 11. Gets you back into a manageable third down. So that's a run play, even though it counts as a passing play. And even with that, the Florida State's passing game was anemic in this game. Better job of getting off his spot here from Francois. You notice there's plenty of space up front. The guards and center have done their job. Tackles run him out, but Francois really needs to hit and press up the field a little bit more there, a little bit better, and he's doing a poor job of setting his feet there. In any case, this is where you got Akers on the field, and he's running a Texas route. Miami has scouted this so well that they see the shallow here, and the backer is already expecting the trailing Texas route and tries to jump it. He's expecting that to be a throw there. Francois does a good job of hitting it in the seam. There's not a big hole there. But Miami has clearly scouted this and is waiting. Backers just a little early to get that pick. But Miami's done their homework here defensively and expected exactly what they got on third down. They were expecting that little crosser on the inside and then something behind it, and he's ready for it. Still got it. Better execution by Florida State. This is just bad. I'm not sure what he likes here. But this is clearly a play action. This is the same one that they scored on against Louisville. That little wheel route and then the post, skinny post from the inside. He's looking to it. And what I don't like here from Francois, you've got time. Don't just duck your head here. If anything, throw the ball away. Don't take the 4 or 5 yard loss. You got plenty of time to get rid of this football. So what he's looking at, he sees that they've done a good job of running to the skinny and taking that away. You've got McKitty here on the wheel, and they're playing over top of that already. So you know it's dead. Now throw this ball away. Throw it out of bounds, over the top, get it out of there so you don't take the loss. 2nd and 10 is a lot better than 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. And it turns out he got back, 2nd and 11. They gave him a little bit of a break on the spot. But, manage the game just a little better. Come back somewhere else or, throw it out of bounds. But don't just duck your head and try to get back to, 1 yard. This is where a more mobile quarterback sees that's gone now and then takes off the opposite side, or tries to make a play running this way. There's a seam if he wants to do that, but he's just not there. And that's one that Terry's got to win. So here you've got a double slant on the backside. I'm not sure what they have. Yeah, they've got all outs to the bottom, and they probably have a go route on the bottom. We don't really see what's going on there, but that's probably a go route. Given the coverage, I actually don't like the side that he chooses to work here, because my guess is that your best bet is actually Gavin here at the bottom as the number 2 here. Hit him on the out. There's nobody out there. Right there. Hit him in the out, and if there is somebody playing outside him, you can kind of throw it to the inside shoulder, have him stop, and there's nobody there. There's nobody covering it. Instead, this is pretty close to an interception. He's reading this, and what I don't like is throwing the double slant into a situation where you have him sitting, because what's going to happen is this backer is going to undercut the number 2, and then he's going to try to he's going to try to rob the number 1. This is fortunate that Francois didn't get this intercepted. I think he's working the wrong side here. And see, this is where if this secondary player for Miami is doing his job the way that he should, he sees inside. He should be looking for inside from the outside receiver too, and coming to that, and that should be a pick six from 4 there. And he knows it. You look at his hands go up. He knows, oh. So I think this is a bad read by Francois. He's going to the wrong side. Come to the bottom here where you have numbers, right? You got a safety over number 2 in the same way. You're going to get a one-on-one out here. He's not going to undercut anything you get here. You're going to take this every time. Take that to the trip side. Much more comfortable. Read the proper side. Read the proper side. So now you get trips with it's really quad with a tight end who's covered, so he's blocking all the way. 3rd and 11. And this is just a miss from Francois. He feels the pressure for sure. Compressed pocket. But he's actually got a guy letting him hold a little bit downfield, but put that inside the hash a little bit, and he's probably got a chance there. Not a real good series for Francois. Once again, thanks to Cinefunk for cutting this up. Does the best job of anybody in the country on that. So once again, thanks, man. You're the best. So man free again for Florida State. Kudos to the camera guy for trying to keep the safety in the screen. Middle of field close coverage. This is more true Saban type stuff. What you're going to see, although the drops are not quite what you'd see from Saban. You'd see the backer trying to rob this a little bit more from Saban. And not real good technique from the outside corner here. Who is that? Lighton? Yeah, it's the young guy. Your job as the corner in man free is to protect the inside. You do not let him get inside. And then what Miami's receiver does is what's called a squirt release technique here. So he knows he's got a slant, so he takes off to the outside shoulder, trying to get the corner. As soon as the corner turns to run and turns those shoulders horizontal to the sideline, as soon as those shoulders turn, that's when you come back underneath and you swing under the corner. This is excellent. This is teaching tape. Squirt release. Nice job, Ron Dugans, for getting him to do it correctly. And again, the better corners who are really confident in their speed and all this, what you're trying to do as a corner to prevent this is you want to mirror, again, on the inside shoulder of that corner, and you don't want to have to turn and run as quickly. You want to wait and delay how quickly you turn and run to keep him from being able to undercut you here. So what you want to do is you want to mirror and kind of shuffle sideways, shuffle, instead of turning your hips that early. If he's able to shuffle and keep his inside leverage with his shoulder square an extra yard, then when he tries to come back inside, you can jam him, and that's dead. That's what you're trying to do. And this is something that, again, the technique here isn't real good. This is something that a little bit more time in the system and he'll be able to do. This is what happened, though, on the goal line a little bit later when he got beat on 4th down. Same thing, young guy giving up his inside leverage. Can't let that happen. Again, you want to look down at the bottom. I know he's not playing quite as close in press, but watch, see how he's shuffling an extra step. Harder to undercut there. I still don't like how quickly he bailed there. But you want to try to keep that mirror technique just a little bit longer so that he can't cross under you. But that's good receiver play. As a quarterback, you're reading this all the way. You go here to here. If the backer flows, you throw it right inside the backer, right there. If the backer sits, then you throw the out, or you throw the little swing route. Good play. Fortunate that that wasn't a targeting. Good that it wasn't. But given the way that that's called, you never know when it's going to be called, and that was close. Florida State again winning on the inside, and that's a better job by the backer, pressing the line of scrimmage. DeKalon Brooks recognizing offensive line stepping. So he's seeing the gap. He's got that gap. He presses it quickly, gets in there. Problem is he's a little light and gets moved out of the way a little bit. So you have to have the safety come up and make that play and run support. Not bad. Not bad. You'll take that even though it's a 4-yard gain. Not bad fundamentally. You're just not physically where you want to be on the edge, or in the backers, that is. So Burns overruns this a little bit, and this is what they're trying to do, is they're trying to run just inside of Burns. Backer has to be there a little quicker, and this is a freshman not triggering quite as quickly as what you'd like. He has to recognize now, see, and this is where in the NFL the difference between veterans and young guys is clear. But watch your strong side backer here, your star. You see the offensive line all stepping to the right. As soon as he reads that, he should be coming downhill now. More experienced player is already coming downhill. See that? He's backing up for another 2 false steps. There's your difference. That's the difference between a veteran. Look at this. Right here's a veteran already recognizing it. And right here's a freshman. 1, 2, 3. 3 false steps. And as a result, he gets reached by the guard. Not because he's not an athlete. Woodby is a really good athlete, but he's a true freshman. Dontavius gets in there quicker. And an NFL guy, this is why, a guy might run a 5 flat in the NFL, but he's getting there quicker. It's because he's not taking that step, he's not taking that step, not taking that step, or that step. He sees that step from the guard, he's already gone. Woodby, ideally, is already right here. And now right here. And now right here. And you can close that down. He should be right here, forcing that guard to reach him. That changes all the angles, and now you're getting maybe a yard. But instead, he gets reached. And that's that. 3rd and 1. Split zone here. What makes this a split zone is you have the sniffer coming across looking for a kick out block. Really, his job is Burns, but Burns doesn't come tight enough. So he ends up not blocking anybody. Because FSU has got Burns responsible for contain, so he decides to take, he's got quarterback. And Christmas is coming just outside the tackle there because they're all slanting, and then they're bringing the backers into the A gaps. So you notice swinging wide, swinging wide, swinging wide, swinging wide, fill A, fill A. The gap on each side of the center is the 2 backers. This right here, really athletic play by Marvin Wilson. He doesn't make the tackle, but look at him shed. I think that's Navon Donaldson. Boom. Wilson just sheds him and very nearly makes that tackle. You got to make that tackle, big fella. That's good play in the trenches. And I think that's a block in the back right there. I can't remember if this gets called. That's definitely a block in the back. Yeah, that didn't get called. This crack right here on the safety. Safety's coming up for that. That is definitely a block in the back. Either way, not as well defended from the backer position. What you'd like to see from Woodby here, his job is this A gap on that side of the center. He and Dontavius Jackson both wind up in the same gap. He just slightly out of his gap. That creates a first down. So again, man free. A lot of man free in this game from Florida State. Letting those defensive linemen get upfield. And Christmas playing some wrecking ball football right here. Look at him get doubled. So they're going to double here. This is inside zone. So you're going to double the three technique on your way up to the backer. Well, they double him. He doesn't give. So he's still stalemated. And now look at him just push, pull, rip, move. And that's over. That is textbook. This is teaching tape. Press against the double, and then push, pull, rip, boom. That is beautiful from Christmas. That's great play. That is a textbook from a veteran defensive lineman. Getting into the second quarter here. Once again, look at where the line of scrimmage is by the time the running back gets it. Look at where Florida State's defensive line is. They're 3-4 yards into the backfield. That's hard for an offense to run the football when you're getting that, and then you're getting backers and everything coming downhill into that wash. Not bad from, who is that, 22? Is that Thomas there? Thomas does a good job of recognizing that this is going to go wide. And then the safety fills. Good overall, good job, but you shouldn't be getting 4 yards in that situation, in that down and distance, when you've got the whole defensive line in the backfield. Delta package, once again, a four-man rush. You get Warner coming in on the blitz and lose contain here from Kando. So Kando has the edge, and that's fine. But he loses his spot, gets pushed a little too deep. Wilson gets pushed a little bit, and then you're relying on your spy here. This is Brooks. He's the spy, and he steps forward in just the wrong spot. If Brooks plays this right here, this doesn't get run up anywhere near a first down. But Brooks, I think, is really ultimately responsible for that. He's got to make sure he's there. He's the robber, or the spy. Now, this was, I think, a bit of a stretch in terms of a pass interference, but I can see why they called it. Getting the blitz here, again, going man to man. And this is straight man. And Myers up at the top. Nice release by the receiver. Presses him outside, then back inside, turns him around. Good job, good patience by the wide receiver. And he's over the top. Now Myers is doing his job here. I think that's a stretch. I don't like that call. I like a lot of the other ones on him, but I didn't think that was a good call. It's decent coverage. And again, notice back gets into the second level for Florida State. Or Florida State's second level. Miami's backs, when they hit Florida State's linebackers, they're going forward usually. Jackson being the real exception there. Even there, a couple yards. 3rd and 2. This is where the strength on the interior makes a difference. And this is one case where the backer wins in the hole. It's kind of because there's two of them. You get Hamza that gets the second as well. This is actually not the best play from Marvin Wilson. You'd like to see him compress this a bit more. He's trying to run around him and looking to make a play instead of doing his job as much and pressing that. You want to see him do what Fred Jones is doing here. See how there's some space that's been opened up there. Yeah, he's stepping that direction, but now once he steps out to you, you got to compress that. But it doesn't matter. Florida State's backers actually win at the point of attack there. Good job from Brooks. Good job from Hamza, Nasiruddin. And now you get a frustrating situation where, from what I understand, Levante Taylor was in the locker room getting IVs or something at this point. And so you've got a true freshman, Lighton, who's bottom of the screen against Cager. You can't let that happen. This is a matchup you cannot let happen. And to me, the mistake is they've got two receivers. You've got Fagan. You've got Hamza. Where is Stanford Samuels III? To me, that's the answer in this situation. Look at the size of this guy. You know he's 6'4". You know that that they love to throw the fade down here, and that their quarterback's not really experienced enough or whatever that to throw any real complex stuff down here. So to me, instead of putting your true freshman out there, you take Stanford Samuels, because I know you're still working him in corner coverage type situations. Move him in there, and if anything, if you're worried about him being on the outside, which you shouldn't be, I don't think, then you put him in here in the slot, and you have Myers come out. But to me, this is a mistake to have Lighton one-on-one as a true freshman, 4th and 2, inside, on ball in the 10. And here's what happens: squirt release again. He's a little less patient with his squirt release, and Lighton doesn't protect his inside. So the way that you coach this as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive backs coach, is you're trying to play this almost head up, but your main job as the DB is not to get beat inside. No matter what, you're going to force him to come through your body if he's going to go inside. You cannot let him have a free release inside. And then what you're going to do is force him, if he's going to try to come inside, to then go outside with a fade, and then you run through and you rip his hands, because that's a lower percentage play than if you can give him a free release. This is just simply too easy. He moves his feet, but notice he doesn't preserve his inside leverage. He's on the inside shoulder now. He's right over that inside foot. What he should be doing, see that first step is, watch his first step here. First step is out. And he's moved out. No, your mirror here, and I watched this every day in practice from Nicky Andrews, coaching those guys years ago. The mirror should start, first of all, you're watching those hips. Your mirror starts by protecting your leverage. Do not let him work you off your leverage. And what he does is he gives him a little bit of an inside press and then presses outside, and he steps outside his frame. Right there, he's beat. See that foot go outside his frame? He's beat. You want to keep those feet a little close. You want to keep those feet under control. Keep to the inside here and force him. That's fine. If he's going to give you a hard step to the outside, let him go outside. Then as he declares that he's going on a vertical stem, you flip your hips and you chase and you play there. But what you cannot let happen is that, because that is just way too easy. They got exactly what they wanted. Veteran on a freshman. Big body, and that's the second time, I think, on this drive that Lighton gave up inside leverage in one-on-one, man-to-man coverage, and you just can't let that happen. And listen, I think this kid's going to be really good. I mean, he looks the part, he really can run. I think he's the future at corner, but right now, that technique, you just can't let him go inside. That's dead. Lost his leverage, lost his technique, nothing. And again, as a coach, I think that's a mistake to have him in that situation to begin with. I think if anything, you want Stanford Samuels III being that guy. This, by the way, very nearly hit. With Grant, if he's able to run through that just a little bit more or avoid that just a little bit, that hits for another 30 yards probably, 15 yards at least before he gets pushed out of bounds. So I think they had the wrong formation here. Reason they called timeout. Frustrating as a coach. And see, this is your standard again, your little zone play, getting everything pushed down inside. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to attract those backers to trigger downhill like they want, and then get the pin from the outside and let the back hit upfield. Again, where Akers is not quite getting this right. Look at his angles here. This angle, that's a good one. Jump cut, but now he's not quite right. Jump cut and get on this angle a little tighter rather than going outside and then having to cut one more time to get vertical. This is where Patrick, if you look, his hips are already starting to go forward here. So instead of going out wide and running out here, he should be hitting it on a little bit more of a 45-degree angle, which allows him to move away from the backer who triggered and gives him a little bit better angle at this player, at this fill player. Still a good run, and still, you can see, the tools are still there, but he's not quite where you'd like. And again, right now, he just seems to be tripping a lot over his blocker's legs as well. And a lot of that is, again, because the footwork is not quite where you want it to be. Right now, again, this is an inverted veer read for the quarterback. Pushing that inside, so he's reading the edge. It's the right read, but you want him to be able to get forward without falling over, without getting tripped, and that just keeps happening to him. You got to continue to work that footwork. 3 runs in a row here. Look at our read. I think this is the wrong read. You have 3 on the boundary, real close to the edge, and you have 1, 2. This should be thrown to the boundary. Throw it. Get that down to Murray right now. Look at the defense. You have 1, 2. If you just double him, you're getting a first down automatically, and he's going to make the tackle, but you're getting a first down. This is the wrong read from Francois. It's extremely frustrating offensively because that just makes the offense look bad. It's going to make everybody look bad because how many do they have in the box? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8-man box, and then you've got another player who's all the way over here. It's an 8-man box with a 9th guy that's playing just over the top, and you have a 2-on-3 on the edge, and you don't look. That's got to go to the receiver. This should have been an easy first down. Quarterback has to make that read, get it out. And again, they may have told him you have to run here, but if they did, that's a mistake from the coaching staff as well. Once again, Florida State's defensive tackles wrecking shop. Fred Jones not getting blocked. Jones is offside here. This time in your traditional Michigan State style quarters look. And this is just a smash concept from Miami. So you're going to get basically a hitch concept on the outside to hold the corner, and then you're going to run a one-on-one corner route to take that corner outside. And Samuels is struggling right now. He is not quite where you'd like him to be coverage-wise. He's not been the lockdown guy out of that position that you hoped he would be this year so far. He's not been bad, but, compared to the dominant player that you would kind of expect to be there based on some of the other stuff he's shown, he's not been quite what you'd hope. And this is just a terrible throw. If this throw is anywhere close to on target, this is an easy first down. Florida State was fortunate that N'Kosi Perry was actually so bad in this game because guys were open once again in this game. Russian 4, Delta package comes open, and this time the backers responsible for the zone drop are in position for the scramble. Easy play. Matthews doing a good job of assessing where he needs to be running, but holding again. Bad field position. Rinse, repeat. Oh, and this is frustrating on a couple levels. So one tendency I'm noticing from Florida State right now is when they're coming in with this kind of double tight personnel, they're probably throwing deep. This here on first down is not a running formation for Florida State. If I'm a defensive coordinator coming in, if you're watching this next week, I know this week's a bye, but next week when you see this formation where you see two tight ends in the field on the field on first down, take a look and expect the play action out of max protect. Don't be surprised. They'll run it occasionally out of this, but this is much more their max protect throwing the football formation. And so you've got a double post here. And all you're doing is reading that safety. Whoever he takes, you throw it away from. Francois does a decent job off of play action, finding a decent spot to throw it. Could make a little better throw here. But that's not bad. And then Terry sees the safety right there. He's seeing the safety. What you want him to do is get both hands out there. He could have gotten both hands out. But notice arms a little bent, and he just kind of gets his hand on it. You want him to get both hands out there and lay out if he has to. He doesn't really want to, and instead gets the harm and not the catch. But that's close to a real big play. That's just been the way things have been a lot this year. Close to a lot of plays. So now you're getting power with Rasul. And actually, I really like what I've seen from Rasul as a runner. He's smooth in terms of transitioning upfield. So he could turn this just a little quicker in terms of recognizing where he needs to go. But once he does get there, you see the speed. Nice design. Gets you to 3rd and 4. And they call timeout. And then this is something they've been running for weeks. Miami knows they're going to run it. That little press vertical and cut it inside at 5 yards. This has no chance because Miami is expecting they've got the read on this, and they do a really good job. Again, this is good technique. Protect your outside, stay on the hip, run through the ball. No chance as a receiver. Quarterback, if you're going to do this, you better put that ball way out in front here. Quarterback puts it a little bit behind, no chance. So get the double pass here. Or I'm sorry, the reverse pass. one Miami took from North Carolina. No catch. And the thing is, Taylor's over top here, but he doesn't really play this very well in the air. He shouldn't be letting that happen. For one, he's over top, but you want him to be over top and keep his leverage over top. Notice how he let him outside him, and now he's running next to him. As he's skipping from this position, you want him to mirror that and press the receiver outside, kind of use your hips to keep that receiver closed down. Again, technique could be just a little better there. Still miles better than it was last year. Once again, Marvin Wilson starting to be a player here. Watch the tackle here. As a big man, he is just running right through. Nice play by Perry here. Don't see the route downfield, but again, that's just a good play by the quarterback. Sometimes you're going to give that up. Tip your cap. You got the pressure, had decent coverage, not much you can do. And then you have the Lawrence Taylor moment from Brian Burns here. And you notice they've been doing a lot of this double A blitz. This is your typical Michigan State blitz. Bring your defensive line a little wider, and then blitz both of the backers up each side of the center. So what you're forcing is the big guys to match with the big guys, and now you're going to have the backers matched up against the H-back and the running back in protection. And if one of your backers wins, then you're all right. Now, Florida State's doing a pretty rotten job of hitting each A-gap. They both are getting pushed into the same general area. But what this allows you to do is to play a little bit wider with your other defensive linemen and get some guys in space on the edge, and that's what Burns is able to do here. Nice job hand-wise. He does a good job of getting that shoulder underneath the hand of the left tackle, and then is aware of where the football is, gets his hand on it, and break out the turnover backpack. That's a nice Lawrence Taylor play. Break out the turnover backpack. He's having trouble getting both arms in, but, Split zone. Akers, I think, misses his read a little bit here. Well, no, there's not much there. Really, what you'd like here is a cutback. So the sniffer is trying to come straight across. You're expecting him to be able to kick out that end. Ends are coming so far upfield, it's a tough block. But now, if you're Akers, the place you really want to go here, you notice when he's skipping, he's kind of falling forward instead of keeping his balance. What I'd like to see is him skip and take this actually to the short side where he's got an extra blocker. Because the tackle is working up to the weak side backer. This is designed to cut back if you can get it. And he keeps this front side. What you want is for him to skip right here and then peel right off the butt there. And you probably have a better play there, but instead he's just falling forward. And he's doing a lot of falling these days. His balance just doesn't look real comfortable. So out of the stacked alignment, getting what you want, and now the front guy, you're going to get a little switch concept. So the back guy is going to take the player over the front guy. The corner is going to take the back player who's going on the outside release, and then that allows the inside players to have a real easy sit, and that's a very easy read for the quarterback, easy throw and catch for first down on 2nd and 8. You're going to see that a little bit more, I think. Nice little concept. Tough to defend. And now you see the same concept here, by the way, only the front guy is going to take the outside release. Back guy is going to take that, what looks like it might be that initial curl, and then he's going to try to take that up the field. And I don't like this read from Francois. To me, the boundary here, he's going so wide that this is just not a friendly throw. You don't have any room over there. And this is one of the problems I have with the extra wide splits is, unless you're able to beat that guy over the top pretty quickly, you're going to get compressed and there's nowhere to throw. The place where I think you want to throw here, if you're going to throw anywhere, is to the bottom of the screen where you have all of this room. Maybe you throw it just way wide to Terry, coming out wide, or you put it outside shoulder to McKitty. Now the safety's going to go that direction, but to me that's you want to use the field to your advantage rather than throwing so tight. So here we get a little bit of a read. Not sure who he's reading here. He's supposed to be reading this player. Actually, this player. But it doesn't look like that's where his head is. So his helmet's looking. So I'm not sure who he's looking at. But either way, it's a good play. It's the right read. Gets himself dinged up. And then you get Blackman on the little screen. And again, this is just Miami's backers being really good. He triggers downhill. He's got a blitz. Recognizes, smells the rat as soon as he sees the center passing him, looking for the screen right away, makes the play. Great play. Love to see this. This is one I wanted to look at. Look at Burns just absolutely clobber the right tackle here. No chance coming off the edge. They're setting up a screen, but he's there so quickly that the quarterback doesn't even have time to set the screen. Now, if this gets there, look at what's happening at the top. If Burns doesn't break this up, this might have scored. He's out here. Fred Jones ain't catching DJ Dallas in the open field. You got a blocker out front. Werner and 20, both backers go with the shallow who's blocking. All three backers are the wrong side here. That's just a total bust by Florida State's backers. You've got to have at least one of them out here. Now you get a little bit of DJ Matthews. Whoop. And no speed problems here. Yeah, makes sense that that guy didn't really get any chances as a punt returner last year and that they had McFadden back there, doesn't it? Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Anyhow, so from this, you're always going to expect a split zone from Florida State. The sniffer coming this side, that's what you're going to look for, and that's what you get. They're reading it. Francois holds it just long enough. Backer is out of position. Good job by Patrick keeping his shoulders forward until the last minute. Get your 3 yards. Now the same formation. Flip the other way. Run an inside zone this time. That's a big boy run right there. And again, the offensive line at this point is doing fine. Scott winning on the edge. Minshew getting enough there on his guy. Nice double by Arnold and Eberle. Big boy run, first down. Getting the same thing. This is Willie Taggart football right here. Getting the wide splits, getting the tight end in the ball game. Nice block by McKitty. Able to get his butt turned inside. And again, the way that this is working, he's reading McKitty. If the end crashes inside, McKitty pushes him inside, and now he runs right off his butt. Instead, McKitty gets the butt inside. Now you run right off of that, and you run hard. And Miami's backer misses his spot this time. So he gets picked up. Who is that? That's Kelly. Nice job on the backer. And Patrick, if he isn't, who is this? This is a weak side backer. Look at the weak side backer shooting here. Getting his hand just on it. If he doesn't get his hand on him there, Patrick is going to break this one. This is a first down. Probably gets 10 yards on that play. Great play by the backer. And again, this is the difference right now with Florida State and Miami. It's the backer play. Watch right here. Gets in there, makes the tackle. Florida State is not making those tackles a whole lot right now. But boy, Patrick, big boy run again. Again, this is what Willie Taggart likes to do. Asking a lot of McKitty here. One-on-one against the end. McKitty gets a stalemate, holds him a little bit. Right here, holds him a little bit on the edge. He's holding. And let's go. Just in time. Actually, I probably called holding there. But that allows Brady Scott the free release to the backer. Minshew gets the pin. That's what allows that to open up. Eberle gets on the backer on the front side. And Patrick running big boy style. He put on his big boy pants for this one. So now you have the inevitable false start when Florida State starts doing well. And then you have Terry being a player. I like this concept. You're running a seam to basically clear out coverage. And then you're running two in routes. You're running a 5-yard in from Gavin. It's going to take the backers to follow him, whoever doesn't carry the vertical. And then you've got the slant just outside him. And I think Francois threw to the wrong guy here. I think the right guy is probably 89. But he throws to 15, throws it at the guy who should be making the interception here. He should have undercut. This is the wrong throw. Right now, this Miami player is in position to undercut this ball. He misplays this. Terry is able to come underneath and make that catch and then dance into the end zone. And he's going to be he's a player now. But this should have been this is another bad throw, bad decision by Francois into this coverage look. You know that this guy's sitting. Same guy that should have picked the one earlier that he threw to Terry that got broken up. In the double slant look, when you've got the seam going, you're expecting him to carry the slant. He's running more of a 5-yard in. Get it on him now. Don't mess with this guy. Very fortunate that this wasn't intercepted. Instead, it was a touchdown. It's the wrong throw. But sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you got that player. I mean, but yeah, when that ball goes in the air right now, you think this is going to be picked. If I'm watching this coach's tape and I see that throw from there and I know he's throwing to 15, I'm expecting to see this guy running downfield for a pick six. Francois is very lucky here that the receiver bailed him out and that the corner didn't jump this the way that he should have. The corner, or the DB, you notice, sits and waits for the ball to get to him. He's waiting for it instead of attacking it. If he attacks it, that's an interception. Instead, the receiver attacks it and then makes a play. Good for you, Tamorrion Terry. Good for you. And then you get a bust here. Vickers misses the tackle. And at this point in the return, I said he's gone. I didn't think anybody was gonna catch him. But Logan Tyler's a better athlete than your normal kicker. And yeah, he hurt him. Yeah, that's a personal foul, face mask. I'll take that every time to prevent the touchdown there. Good job, Logan Tyler. So now, end of the first half. Not going to really break anything down here because they don't get anything done here. One last thing here, I guess, before so you get the fourth down that doesn't work. It's the right call. By the way, this is the same concept here in terms of trying to get inside. Note how it works against the more experienced player. Squirt release, better technique. Not that much better. Still getting pushed out a little bit. You want to sit and play a little more disciplined, be a little more patient. Don't let him inside, but he doesn't overrun it with his shoulders the same way. Notice he doesn't have to turn all the way around. He's back on it, gets back over top the route. That's a good recovery, even though the technique is not exactly what I'd like to see. Now, if you watch the top, watch textbook right here, Levante Taylor. He stays on that inside foot no matter what. He's keeping that leverage the whole way. Now here, this is just, we've got a guy who can moss and you don't. Could afford to do a little bit more of this, honestly. Puts him in position. Again, Francois, this is where the coaches are frustrated. You got a 4-man rush. You're at the top of the drop. You got plenty of space up here. Ball's at the 32. So you're expecting the tackles to run their guys out to about the 40. That's where he's getting hit. Don't spend your time at the 40, man. That's where your tackles are taking him. Step up to right here. If he's right there, this is not, and he's lucky, by the way. This should have been a strip sack. If he's on the target line there, he's able to make this throw right on time where he wants to make it. But instead, he's just sitting on his spot. That's his fault for getting hit. And then big kick for Florida State to end the half. We'll look at a couple other things here in the second half. I'm not going to break down the entire second half, but we'll look at some key drives, key plays, second half here. All right. So we got throw on first down once again. See, just leave the why zoom? Why zoom there, cameraman? It's a throw. We want to actually see what's going on down here instead of just watching the quarterback fling it. So this is just quick outs for the outside and verticals from the number one. And honestly, I think it's the same play that they opened the game with. I would have liked to have seen him go to the underneath player, but not entirely against taking the shot to the big guy. First down or second down play, not a whole lot there. Akers dancing a little bit. It's just poor. See this right here? This is, again, good play by Florida State. This is quarters look. Playing just base defense. Not over chasing from Burns. Keeps his leverage, and now that's over. That should have been a fumble that Florida State recovered, and the bad turnover luck continues. Force the fumble, don't recover it. Get a few of those and you win. Third and 15. This is Marvin Wilson being a baller. Delta package. 3 different guys get their hands on him. Not enough. This actually is very reminiscent of Dexter Lawrence up at Clemson. That's what that looks like. And that's a player, man. Look at that. And look at the burst now to get to the quarterback. You got no shot. Now, of course, in the NFL, that's a 15-yard personal foul, ejection, like a $36 million fine for not putting the quarterback down on the ground on pillows or something. So here you get your punt return. They punt it short side. This is how I would do it. Although I'd want a better punt than that. Matthews, one thing I like about what he does is he does the old Dion Peter Warwick thing where he takes a second to actually see where his lane's going to be. He's confident enough in his first step quickness that he can do that. And where he surprises guys is he takes off upfield and is able to burst past him much better than you'd expect. And this is gone from the start. It's just too bad that McFadden isn't at Florida State so that he wouldn't be on the field to do this stuff, right? Now, when this happened, I had the thought of, well, maybe this is kind of a mixed blessing because of the defense Miami's defensive front not getting tired out as much. One thing I really like to see, here's Peter Warwick congratulating him. That's one generation congratulating another, sticking with another. That's lovely to see. Great to see. Good to see some of the old greats around the program again. The game did not stay the way that Miami fan felt at that moment. But man, this game was really close at this point to turning into a Florida State rout. And again, you're seeing up front, Florida State's defensive line is winning. Kendo looking a little bit more spry at this point. Problem here is the tackle gets just a little out of his space. You're going to give that up once in a while. It's okay. Sprint draw. This is the old Steve Spurrier sprint draw here with Fred Taylor. Lead draw. And this is where the backer needs to hit with the correct shoulder. He gets pinned in. Not what you want to see. It's too much on first down. Miami's made some adjustments here to get what they want on the inside in terms of how they're blocking that. So take a look. They know Florida State's been doing a lot of getting those defensive tackles wide. So what do? They get that center coming backside now to try to take away one of the backers, and they're releasing. They put a tight end in to try to get to the weak side linebacker here and clean that up with a lead to take away the mic. So that's that little adjustment. They're trying to get that extra blocker on those backers and give the running back a little bit more head of steam if Florida State's going to keep splitting those defensive tackles in those contexts. Taking advantage of FSU's backers again. This time, they don't split so Florida State responds by not splitting their defensive tackles. They're just going to play them forward, play the linebacker straight downhill. And this is what linebackers should look like, Dontavius Jackson. It's the one guy that's going to do this on the Florida State team right now. Let's watch that again. Oof. At this point, Florida State's dominating the game physically. Winning up front, there's no way that you should lose from this point. Just don't turn it over and you got the game. Momentum is on your side. Everything looks good. 3rd and 16. No chance. And here's where everything changes pretty soon. Akers, man, that's a good run. So running split zone. Again, coming across to kick out that end. What I like here is Akers, even though Akers, again, he's not hitting it hard, he's hesitating when he gets it. Hesitate. There he doesn't lose his balance, and he's able to hit a lot stronger. There you go. But he seems so unhappy and so hesitant with everything right now. Everything is labor instead of just being able to run downhill. 3rd and 6. Help out on the end there with McKitty. McKitty, I tell you what, he has become a legit blocker. It's an NFL prospect at this point. Nice job by Akers holding off the defensive end after he does beat McKitty. And this is a good play by 89. Nice physical play by the outside receiver by Gavin. That's true. That's definitely targeting. And here's where the game changed. So 3rd and 6. The frustrating thing is that this, they had gotten the first down. Shouldn't have even been. So 3rd and 6. I'm trying to figure out why the slide happens this way. Because the real problem, the miscommunication here, is you've got additional rushers that can come from this side. You expect maybe one to come, and if one comes, that's okay, because the tackle can slide and take the one, and then the back can take the other. The problem is that Kelly never sees that 2 guys come, and so what should happen is he should not slide. He should basically sit and stick with his hand and pass that off to the guard. Akers gets to take one guy. And he takes the right guy here, by the way. He takes the most dangerous. The problem is that they've brought one more from that side because Kelly doesn't get out and block him. He just never sees that he's coming. That's that. And Francois, this is where, son, you've got to feel pressure. You got to understand where it's at. You got to get this ball out or you got to go down. You cannot let it's from your front side. You can't fumble here. Trying to figure out where he's even throwing. He's throwing the same ball he did on the last one. So he's wanting to go to Nooney Murray here. They just reverse their roles. So he's running a seam through, and Murray's running that little stop at the sticks, little hitch route. That's what he's throwing. He's trying to throw that. He's waiting, throw now. First of all, I don't really like the call, but this is just disaster. You just cannot fumble there. They're able to, and again, bad luck here. Ball bounces. You've got a couple guys with a chance to get it. They don't get it. That changes the ball game. Defense comes in, starting to make the stop. They're winning up front. Get your halfback pass right in line. And there's no reason to interfere here. And this is a good call this time on Myers. This is the right call. He's frustrated about it, but it is the right call. Miami loves quarterback draw down here, especially when they go empty. Florida State knows it, and they hit it hard. And again, this is AA blitz. This is Michigan State right here. Bring the AA. It's just too bad they don't have the backers to really make it work. But then you have Nasir Al-Din come in as a load behind it, and that makes all the difference. And from here, you've got your second and goal. I love this call from Miami. I'm a big fan of slot fades because there's so much room out here, and you're going up against an inferior coverage guy in Fagan. Fagan, this is terrible technique. And don't move your feet. Why would you move your feet? No need to move your feet. Just get frozen. Look at how many steps are taken down here by Asante Samuel. Right? He's mirroring properly. Mirror, mirror, step, 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 step. Look at how many steps are taken here. Proper mirroring. Watch Fagan. 1, 2. He's flat-footed the whole way. You got no chance. This is where this ball should have gone. If it goes there, this is over. But instead, he tries to take advantage of the wrong guy. Tries to take advantage of Myers there. And so now that you end up with third and goal, you get, again, true freshman on 6'4", 6'5", upperclassmen. Fagan does a better job, even though, again, I don't like how flat-footed he plays. He's got to fix that. Better job. He does a good job of protecting his inside. Now, watch how this is proper technique. This is excellent technique from Asante Samuel. Match the mirror. Protects, he stays on the inside foot. No chance of letting that happen, of letting him come inside. And now you've got the big man outside, and he's fortunate that the big man dropped it, and that, by the way, hurt. I can promise you that. Look at how Samuel fell on that leg. Ow, ow, ow. But Samuel is able to look back and press through the hands. He gets his hand in there. He's fortunate Cager doesn't just go up and win it. But now you know that they're going to come out in the same thing. You know, after what matchup you just got and after how close that was, if they're going for it on fourth down, they're going to throw that again. And again, where is Stanford Samuels III? Why is he not on the field here? I'm not worried about why Levante Taylor's not out on the field. I know he's probably back in the locker room or whatever it was. You know, he wasn't out on the field for that. What I don't understand is why Stanford Samuels III isn't your goal line corner in this context when you're bringing two other safeties in. You've got Hamza and you've got Fagan in for goal line. Why are you not putting Stanford Samuels III as your fade stopper at corner? Use your matchups there. And again, good coverage good technique by Asante Samuel. This time the throw is a little bit better, a little bit further away, a little further to the outside, and you just have no chance as a 5'9" corner in this context. There's just no shot. So the ball game has changed, and now it really changes. So you get a sack on first down. What happens here? Again, they're being aggressive here. Play action. This is just a whiff from the right tackle. Just a whiff. This is not so much on Francois, although, you know, his effort to try to shut it down instead of throwing it away. Maybe you can quibble with that, but I'm not going to quibble too much. That's on the right tackle for getting blown around. So now you go empty. All of this is to set up the same, it's a version of the same screen they beat him on before. But watch the backer. He recognizes this time. He sees the release. Backer is, watch his eyes. He's watching the guard. That's his key. He sees the guard release. He's coming downhill now. That is good linebacker play. That is great linebacker play. And McKitty gets lazy, look, and just kind of drifts upfield. And he's letting the ball come to him. Now, this is the same problem that the reason Miami didn't have a pick six at the end of the first half on McFadden's earlier throw that should have been a pick six. This is why McKitty isn't running for 40 yards here, is he doesn't attack the ball and run through the spot. He waits for it to come to him. And that's that. This changes everything. And all he's supposed to do, you got the whole defense running this direction. All he's supposed to do is come right here. He's supposed to come to the heels of Minshew, come behind him. Don't wait. Come forward, run underneath it. Don't wait on the football. Reach your hands out and catch it coming across. At worst, you get blown up. At best, you're running through this and you got a chance maybe to get hit from behind here. But if you're able to pass through that, there's no one else out there. Those two plays change the game. And now you have man free, bad matchup. Get your slot fade on Westbrook. No chance. Jeff Thomas on Westbrook. That's not fair. It's a good call. Once again, I'm wondering at this stage why you've got Westbrook and Nasirildeen as your two safeties and why Stanford Samuels III is not on the field right now. Because you've got the true freshman corner, you've got Myers, you've got Westbrook, you've got Nasirildeen. Where's your best cover safety? It's not right there. So this game, I got to say, Florida State was really well prepared, had a great plan most of the game, but this is where it killed them. There are a couple things that, they could have done better, and a couple of the matchups here in the second half, they could have done better. And now the momentum has changed. This is a bad read. Hand the ball off. Francois spooked a little bit, but does a good job running here. Gets him back into a reasonable down and distance for third down. Starting to make a drive again. It's what they do. That's their third down stuff. Now you got Rasul. Just drops it. And he's lucky too, because that was a fumble. So a little good turnover luck there. It could have bounced poorly. So he's thrown to the wrong guy here. The guy to throw to here, you got Y cross and you have McKitty underneath. As he hitches up, notice he's staring Nooney down the whole way. Eyes are on Nooney, watching him the whole way. Everybody knows where he's throwing by then. It's a poor decision. And by this point, McKitty clears the backer. Now's when you want to throw to McKitty. Wide open there behind the official. But you can't stare your receiver down like that. Good no call in the targeting. Now you got your receiver screen. These did not seem to work. Miami did a great job of coming downhill on those. And the D linemen are starting to smell the rat pretty quickly. not punting it real well at that point. So from here, I'm going to give Fred Jones his due for that little rip move there, and then we're going to move forward to what really matters a little bit later in the game. So that would be Miami's final touchdown drive, which I'm not sure why I'm frozen here for a moment. It's going to be just at the turn of the fourth quarter. So getting it here. This, by the way, is what you want to see from Akers. Getting it and then being able to get upfield without stumbling around. When he's able to get some momentum forward, he's fine. The problem is he is not a stop-start guy. You know, he doesn't want to be going one direction and then shifting all of a sudden. Now, that guy can do it. But you want Akers going forward a little bit more than he has been. So here's the two other plays that we should really focus on. So they start in this formation. Now when I saw this live, I'm looking at this formation going, okay, so you got your RPO to the top screen or your quarterback run, and I'm looking at this, and this is a quarterback run read. You got 3 over 3, 4, and then the deeper linebacker. This is a quarterback run read. So I was upset at Francois for making this throw because this should have been a quarterback run read all the way, run dart, right? So, but what I didn't realize is that they were setting this up. Same thing, 3 over 3, and I'm going quarterback run read. And now I'm upset because he's throwing again. Now, one thing he should have done, Francois, step forward. When you're catching this snap, step forward half a yard. Either way, that ball is over his right foot, which is just on top of the hash mark at the numbers, and it is caught on the 45, and it is caught on the 45, and then you get that. And that is why he threw the 3 over 3 each time. This is a brilliant setup, a brilliant call, easy touchdown, and a bad call. This would have changed the game. And by this angle, by the way, I can see why they called it the way that they did, and why the upstairs said, it's not close enough. We think that's not gonna work. But yeah, this right here, that's not forward. I can see again by this angle, it looks like it might be, but where he's catching that, they should have spent a long time on this. This is the angle that really shows you. You're on the 50, so it's going to make it look like the ball's a little bit further than it is forward, but that's right on the money each time. If they don't call that back, Florida State wins this game, even though Miami was the better team for the most of the way. And you got to give FSU credit for getting the first down here after that devastating callback. First down. Nice throw by Francois. You're in position, and if they're able to kick this field goal, they still win the game. In position to be able to do something, and then you miss the field goal. 43 yards, wide left. There's your difference in the game, folks. Those two plays, along with a couple turnovers. Wide open here, by the way. This is Samuels against Thomas. They're running just a smash concept, or smash concept. Can't let him have all that real estate. I mean, that's if Miami had a competent quarterback, and also it helps that you're getting a lot of pressure on him. Jones is really the reason that didn't get there, but yikes. I think that was a smash concept. It might have been a Might have been a go on the outside there. I couldn't see it for sure, but. And here's what we talked about in the preview, the podcast preview of what we were worried about in terms of Jeff Thomas making a big play up the seam. Here it is. You're in cover 2, 3rd and 10. Cover 2 has not been good for Florida State this year. And this is just 20 getting beat. Samuels is able to do his thing. Or Samuels is not able to do his thing, though. I mean, that is, I just don't think they're real good in too deep coverage. I think partly they're getting too deep, and Samuels is getting off the hash and just is there a little late. And then you get exactly the matchup that you want in man free. You can't let this matchup happen. Can't let them dictate that matchup. You've got DeKalon Brooks, who's not very fast. He just can't run in that context. That's stealing. Can't let that happen. It happens to be the moment when you most need to shut him down context-wise. That puts him ahead, and that's ball game. I'm not going to break anything more down from here. I think this pretty much gives us a good idea of what happened in this game. If there's anything else that I haven't done, those of you who are Patreon subscribers, particularly those of you who are up above at the $5 above level, let me know that you want to see some specific stuff, and I'll be happy to talk about that and get that done. But until then, this has been the Unconquered Podcast film review of the Florida State-Miami game. I'm your host, Jason Staples. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and thanks for your support.